my dear friends. The message on my heart today is the challenge that comes when we are deep in shadow work and that shadow work gets comfortable. Sometimes we don't even realize that we're in the shadow. Sometimes we haven't yet awakened to where we are not loving ourselves and loving others. Yet the clues that come up is when we become angry, when we are in self-loathing, when we judge others, when we use words of resentment towards others, blame, all that. And it can be subtle. It can be so subtle, which is why I think we don't always realize that we are operating as the shadow. But what I see is that we cannot heal in the shadow. We can use the shadow and become awakened to the shadow side of ourselves, but we cannot take the shadow with us. We need to release the story that we have built up in our minds of who we are as the shadow self. And that sounds simple, and usually I talk in simple ways, but I'm going to complicate it a little bit this time. We can develop attachments to the story of our lives, to our trauma, our wounding. We can become very self-righteous. We can wear this badge of honor that, well, this trauma happened to me and I am who I am because of it. But really, who are we? Who are we? You know, do we want to continue through life attached to our trauma, attached to our wounding, attached to this part of ourself that is separated from all beings? Or do we want to discover ourselves fully in the light, fully in love with ourselves and in love with others? I think that's the goal that many of us share, yet we have these moments and these phases when it feels nearly impossible. It feels nearly impossible to let go of who we thought we were. I've been having this conversation with many of you of this old story of who we were is passing on, and we are becoming new beings. We are taking on new forms. And if you know, this could have happened to you multiple times throughout your life. If you look at a picture of yourself 10 years ago, you probably don't look the same. And maybe you do, and if so, that could be something to look into is, you know, have I grown in these last 10 years? But when we continually evolve, our bodies change. Our skin changes, our hair changes, our energy changes, how we hold ourselves, our posture, who we're with, who we surround ourselves with changes. And so as the shadow self, to solidify the story, we have surrounded ourselves in environments and with people who reinforce the story of the shadow self to keep it alive. And when we awaken to this calling of becoming a new being, there's a transitionary period that takes place that we must commit to in order to evolve. And that means, you know, for me a couple years ago, this was leaving my job. This could be stepping away from dissolving relationships. This could mean taking a break from spending time with certain family members. This could mean moving. And it could mean nothing at all. It could be simply internal work. That's something that, I think sometimes we think change needs to be dramatic on the outside, but really what's happening is the change is happening inward, and the outside world is what's reflecting the change that's happening inside of us. So we must engage with this process and also have patience with this process. Sometimes this change happens instantaneously, and we wake up and we have these awakenings, and we become a new person, so to speak, overnight. And sometimes it takes a while. It could take weeks, months, years for this opening up, for this entering into the light to truly take hold. And so with this message, I encourage you, and I honor you and all of the choices that you make to heal these wounds and to realize yourself as greater than who you thought you were, for making these changes in your life. And I know it's not easy. I know it's not easy. I walk with you there. And to remind us to take pause and to honor the change that's already taken place. If the process is still unfolding, to meditate on what has already changed and how love has more deeply entered into the heart, and what has been shed finally from our energy, from our beingness. And when we take that pause, for me, it's a reminder to keep going, because more goodness is to come. That we are freeing ourselves from who we thought we were, and then seeing ourselves as so capable. You're so capable. You are so capable. You are so strong. You are so full of love. My goodness, I hope you look at yourself in the mirror every day and praise yourself for that. Bow to yourself for that. You are truly an angel of God, and your strength is showing through because you've committed yourself to entering into the light, to becoming the light, to realizing yourself as the light. So I thank you for doing this with me. Your courage gives me courage. Your strength gives me strength. And not just me, but everybody around you is noticing you changing. And sometimes that can be uncomfortable for other people, especially if they're the ones that you are stepping away from, or that you are changing the way you communicate or operate around them. That could be very uncomfortable, but keep going, and we'll see together. We'll see what happens on the other side of this, and I know it will be absolutely glorious. Much love to you all. Thank you from the deepest parts of my heart for walking on this journey with me.